Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. And I have to apologize. I am a couple of minutes late. You definitely have my apologies for that. We had a tooth brushing emergency in the house. The session ran a little long, and then I realized what time it was and scrambled from brushing my children's teeth to trying to get the show up and going. It is good to see you guys. Happy Sunday. And we have, I think, a couple of things that we want to talk about and a couple of things that we want to accomplish over the course of this Ready, Set, Go live preview show. For those that may be watching this for the first time, this is a preview show that I do every single week on Sunday, always at 7:30, sometimes 1 to 2 minutes late like today. But this is basically where I give you guys a preview on everything that is going to be coming out from Regie Collects over the course of this week. And then we also pick the winner for the weekly giveaway that we do. We highlight next week's book, and then we also talk about some other stuff. We talk about something that might be in the news. We answer and ask a lot of questions here, and generally we have a good time. But before we get to the agenda, I want to say hello to a couple of comic book soldiers that are here in the room. There are 54 of you guys here already. It is good to see you guys. And again, thank you to all of the comic soldiers out there for taking time out of your respective days to actually spend a little bit of time with us here. Wayne McDonald in here. My brother from the north is here. Kyler is in the house. Chris Barrett is here. Randy Rasnake is here. Harvey Abel, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you as always. Tina Cranston is in the house. Tina, my friend, it is good to see you. Who else do we have here? I'm scrolling through the comments. Sorry about that. Joseph is here. Who are we have? Ghost Lantern is in the house. J. Matt Gray is in the house. Who else do we have? Scrolling. Carlos is here. Oh, okay. You guys were having an incredible conversation before I rolled in. Collect those sixes in the house. Mark Tripp is here. Theo is here. Backseat driver, my man. It's good to see you. He says, ready, set, go. Who else is here? James is here. All right, that's enough. It is good to see you guys. And again, thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day to be here. We are going to be giving away in just a little bit a really cool book, a book that I don't have that I am jelly of. I'm going to be honest with you. I have wanted this book for a very long time. I actually passed on an 8.0 probably 9 months ago because I was being cheap. Passed on it, and I have been kicking myself ever since. There are times when I am like super cheap with stuff, and there are other times where I'm like, who cares? It's just money. There's always more. But this is one that I'm still kicking myself over. So the first thing that I want to do is I actually received an AOK from John. And John is a good guy. He's been a long time subscriber of the channel. He sent me something and asked me to open it up live, which makes me a little nervous. John's a good guy, so I'm going to trust him. But it makes me nervous. So this is what was inside. Taped to the top of it was this, and he wrote it twice because he knows how I can be. I sometimes don't see things. It says open first, so we're going to crack this thing open. It looks like a lengthy letter. No, it is not. Let me scan this thing. Let me see. I think we can read this. I think I can read this. It says, hello, Reggie. Just wanted to show my appreciation for the incredible content you put out on a constant basis. The hunting videos, the line videos, the Sunday preview show. Oh, here we go. And the live interviews with guests all make it worthwhile. And that is the reason that I remain a subscriber of your channel and watch the videos you release. I appreciate your shout outs, your reviews, and your friendship. Very nice. Thank you. If at all possible, I would like to give you this gift, not just for me, but for the entire community of your subscribers. I want to include them in on this gift, if I may. We all appreciate you, Reggie. And he says something here that I'm reluctant to say, but I am going to say it. He says, we all appreciate you, Reggie. Have a very happy birthday, and I'll see you next video. Your loyal subscriber, John. So John has let the cat out of the bag that it is indeed my birthday, not today, but on the 24th of June. Tomorrow is my birthday, and I was super hesitant about even talking about it, to be honest with you. I had mixed feelings about revealing that little tidbit So yeah, so it's out there now. Oh, that's cool. So he says open this last, and over here he says slide off cover. There's a note here. It's Creed the movie. And this one is signed. And I had a conversation with him when I think it was who is the boxer? Uh no, I can't remember who this is that signed this one. Hopefully he put a note in here, but it is signed. It is autographed right in the middle, down the middle. And he and I had a whole conversation about where it should be signed and all that kind of stuff. But very cool. Very cool. I think I have seen Creed 1, but not Creed 2. So that's very cool. There you go. That this is what was here. I've missed so many of you guys' comments. I apologize. It says, know why older guys dress like this? Yeah, that's a good one. He says, you'll know soon enough. This is your day. Enjoy, celebrate your friend John. That's awesome. So for the record, because I know people are going to ask, tomorrow I think I'm 43. I think I turned 43, and I am sweating like a pig for two reasons. I got on the Stairmaster. I call it the Stair Monster, and I haven't done the Stair Monster in quite some time, but I decided to do it today. Now I can't stop sweating. I have hot lights here in the room, and it's also still hot here in San Francisco right now, even at 7:40 at night. So you guys are going to have to. Johnny Future, there we go. He says Carl Weathers. There you go. I couldn't remember who you had sign it. Very, very cool. So there you go. That is cool. That is an awesome gift. It really is. And I don't know what I like more, the signature, the movie, or the card. I'm going to just be honest because John, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate your friendship, man. You guys with this sense of humor, I tell you, you guys are funny, funny people. That was really cool. Yeah. Mark Tripp says he has me by 6 years. Yeah, man. So I turned 43. I have a younger brother who is 6 years younger than me. His birthday is on the 21st. So tomorrow is my day. So I'm actually going to some degree or another, I think, try to unplug from social media tomorrow. Going to try to take a little bit of time for self. And just try to unplug for just a little bit tomorrow. So we'll see. All right. So there's a couple of things I want to get to. And we're probably going to do some of this stuff real quick so that we can get on to some of the other action that you guys want to hear about. The subject to this live stream, I called it DC Shutters Vertigo label. And a lot of people were very upset about this. A lot of people are very upset about what's happening with Vertigo right now. But here's the thing. Well, let's restate. They have a tremendous amount of great content that they have put out since being founded in 1993. They have some great hits. But with everything that DC has been doing through the last year or so, possibly even longer, we should have anticipated this, right? The move from New York to Burbank. Johnny Future says the card was signed by Carl Weathers. I saw that in the upper left-hand corner. Says to Reggie, happy birthday, Carl Weathers. There you go. We should have that card's awesome. We should have seen this coming with all of the changes that DC is undergoing right now with the relocation to Burbank from New York. With the different changes that are being made, not just at DC, but at the larger organization, where they have I want to say last time it was 14 people or so go as a result of the merger, the acquisition, whatever you want to call it, recognizing that there's synergies. This always happens, right? And anytime a company is acquired by another company, there is always change. And I've actually been a part of at least two mergers or acquisitions, I should say, in my career. And each time it's the same thing. There is a desire to keep the company as it exists, but then there is also the need to integrate that company into the larger organization. And it was a sad day. I actually was part of an organization that had its own street, had its own set of buildings, had its own identity in Maryland for a very long period of time. Is actually one of Maryland's largest employers for a heck of a long time. It was a sad day when the name of that company was actually taken off the building. It was a very, very sad day. And I have left the company long, long time ago. But I was there when the company was purchased. I was at the previous company, left that company, went to the new company. That company was acquired by the old company. And just again, recently, the name actually came off the building. And it was a sad day. Even for me, after having left the company, I don't know, almost 8 years ago, possibly even longer. So these mergers happen, and the shifts actually continue to happen. But here's the thing. So DC is shutting down 3 titles, not just Vertigo, but they're also shutting down Zoom and Inc. And this is all as a part of this reorganization that they're going into. And so, as I mentioned, Vertigo had some incredible hits. They had, what did they have? DMZ, Hellraiser, iZombie, Lucifer, Preacher, The Sandman, Swamp Thing, and Why the Last Man. And a lot of these have actually gone on to be TV shows. So they were great comics, but then they also went on to become TV shows, and I think at least one movie, right? But what Vertigo basically did, it was this experiment back in the 90s, and it was an experiment by DC to basically have an imprint that could target more mature readers. And that's basically what they've done. That's basically what they've done is they went out there and they created all this great content targeting mature readers. But now, as a result of DC continuing to evolve as an organization, they're supposed to be taking all of those titles, all of those wonderful titles that people love, and they're rolling them. I think someone just said they hear in the comments, they're rolling it into the DC Black label. So basically what DC is doing is they have expressed the desire to bring everything under the DC umbrella. And under that umbrella, they are going to still target different age groups, different demographics. And so the mature group will be folded into DC Black. You're going to have a DC Kids, which is basically going to target readers 8 to 12, which I think is great. And then the regular DC imprint will actually be for 13 and up. So it'll be 13 all the way up as high as you can go. And then the more mature content for 17 and above will still be in DC Black. So, you know, I think it's a sad day. But it is in my opinion, a reflection of DC's desire to remain strong or to strengthen themselves moving into the future. So I think that's part of it. Chris says the DC Black label should be polybag like those faithless variants. I don't know anything about that. You got me on that one, brother. Kyler says DC Vertigo was his favorite. Hopefully, again, according to what these guys, polybags cost money. According to what these guys are saying, who is it? I think it was Jim Lee. Jim Lee basically said that DC will continue to publish the creator-owned and driven projects, and that these new labels will not only bring greater consistency and focus to our characters. He goes on to talk about how none of these titles will actually be canceled, which I think is a good thing, because as you read here in the comments, some people definitely have some favorites, some series that they've enjoyed over the years. But according to what Jim Lee is saying, they are not going to be canceling any of these titles. That doesn't mean that things won't change, right? Because anytime you take, a free spirit, smaller, nimble kind of organization, where you can go from brainstorm to action relatively quickly, and you take that and you try to replicate that inside of a larger organization with bureaucracy and rules and regulations and policies and procedures, things change. Even if it looks the same, it's still not necessarily going to be the same. And that's why it's really going to be on the editors and the publishers to try to maintain as much of that energy as what was generated by the outside Vertigo label. And it's tough. It's tough to do it. I've been the big, large organization buying the smaller, and I've been the smaller organization being acquired by the bigger. I've been on both sides of it in my career. And as much as you want to maintain things change. So I just think we all have to be prepared for that. Leonard says, "I wish they can, I wish they cancel cover variants." Well, the good thing about DC is that DC is only doing what, A and B primarily, unless it's a major, event. They are. I think, in my opinion, again, I've said this before. I am a Marvel guy, but I think that some of the business decisions that are being made by DC, while painful, are really smart. Consolidation is never a bad thing, especially if what you consolidate to results in better products being made. Fewer titles means that your talented people are not spread too thin. That means that hopefully they are concentrating on more quality work than quantity. If you and I've been noodling this idea about talking about how, Marvel basically dominates through volume, right? If they put out 100 titles and a comic shop can only buy a fixed number, then Marvel has a better chance of being on the shelf than does DC if they just overwhelm you with titles, right? I mean, if you put out 8 Spider-Man titles, Spider-Man is arguably one of the most popular characters out there. Should an LCS not carry Spider-Man titles if Spider-Man is popular versus a more obscure title, which could be a better title, but it's a character that is not widely recognized like Spider-Man? Marvel is doing some things with quantity that aren't necessarily good. Dan, the other publisher, basically said something like, there is a need or a desire to move towards establishing a single presentation of the DC brand. And that's why they're going to have the DC Black, the DC Kids, and then just the regular DC instead of like Vertigo and Zoom and Ink. All of these different identities cost money. And so what they are trying to do is to reinforce the DC identity and bring everything under that one umbrella. And it makes sense. It makes perfect sense to do it. Although, again, there is change. I think one of the good things, and well, let me restate, one of my hopes is that people don't lose their jobs. That's my hope, is that people don't lose their jobs. The people from New York that want to come over to DC Black, my hope is that there will be a spot for those individuals to be able to come over. And you're going to lose some people just because people don't want to leave New York, because New York is New York. And so you could have some loss that way versus basically saying, hey, if you were Vertigo, you are now fired. That could be the worst thing ever, because if they are able to retain some of the creativity, some of the energy, some of that creative thought, and they bring it over, then it has a better chance of surviving. So that's my hope. Victor's making a couple of comments here. Marvel has way too many storylines and it's literally impossible to keep up. Well said. That's why, for me, I will have a very narrow focus, because you cannot take it all in. And does that mean that I miss out on things? Yeah, it means that I miss out on some things, but it's too much. We all have responsibilities. And if I had nothing else to do but to sit around and basically read comics, that'd be cool. I'd be cool with that. But that's not my life. My life is a little bit more than just reading comics. But even if that were your gig, I don't know how you would read it all. Marvel had 100 titles at the end of last year. 100 titles on the shelf. How can you read 100 titles? It's way too much. It's way too much. And then you look at all the variants and all that other stuff. I mean, it becomes a bit much. So again, I think that while sad, I think that DC's move is not a bad thing, because I think that DC is going to be a stronger organization as a result of the changes that they're making. That is my belief. Only time will tell executionally whether they can bring the vision to life. But I think that the moves that they're making are smart moves. But as you guys know, it all comes down to execution. It all comes down to execution. So we will see. DC hasn't evolved with the times, but I think that that's exactly what DC is doing, is actually evolving with the times. I think that Marvel is the one that is a little ingrained in how they want to do things, and the Marvel way extends in lots of different ways, where they're like, no, we know better. sometimes I think you have to listen to the customer. Sometimes you have to slow down and take a look and look what the landscape is telling you, what the customers are telling you, and you can't necessarily always force it. But being number one puts you in a position to be able to do some of that stuff. Fist of Doom says, I'm okay with the large quantities of titles because no one is forcing us to buy them all. Just see what you like. But to some degree or another, comic shops are being forced to buy them all. That's the point that I'm trying to make here, is that when you put out that much content, then there's only so many talented writers and artists out there. And so when you put out a lot of content, some of what you're putting out is not good. Let's just be honest. It's not good, and it's probably not selling well. But then there's going to be a couple of people that are going to want to read it. And then your comic shop is being forced to make really tough decisions, especially when they're being told, hey, for you to get this variant, which I know you want because you need to make some money, you have to buy this obscure title that no one is actually reading except for like 5 people. So my point is that some of this stuff can be detrimental, especially when people aren't necessarily being responsible for some of the things that they're doing, because it puts people sometimes in a bad place. You know what I'm saying? Marvel has all kinds of gimmicks, if you will, to uh, bump up sales. And a lot of it is, if you want this variant, if you want this exclusive, you have to buy this over here, which again, no one wants, and if they were to cut back on some of the titles the way the DC is doing, maybe they could put out better quality content that people actually want and will buy, so I think that's the challenge. So let me read. There was another comment. Liger says, that's what I'm saying. Marvel needs to change their paper quality. Bro, please. I would not mind paying $4 or $5 for a comic if the paper quality was better. When you grab a piece of paper and you can actually see the writing on the other side, or you can't tell that the side you're reading is the face up side because the paper is so thin, or the staples are pushing through the cover, or the cover feels like the interior pages. And again, it's just, if you're going to put out 100 comics and then you're going to charge $4, $5, do less, but a higher quality, How was passing Marvel quality control plus editor-in-chief for mass production? Oh man, yeah, Johnny Future's making a point here that a lot of LCSs are going out of business, and again, because they're trying to play the variant game. And I know a lot of LCSs that are a little more savvy are pushing back on some of that stuff. They're banding together and actually going out and buying some of the variants together as a group. But that's if you have enough LCSs in your local area that you can actually band together and do some of that stuff. But I think, if an LCS is not being savvy and they are not paying attention to their bottom line, then they could be making some poor decisions based upon a variance and some of the other things that they are incentivized to do. Incentivized things help Marvel, help the publisher, but not necessarily the LCS. I actually saw a post the other day on Instagram, and the post said, please pick up your pull list ASAP so that we can stay in business. That was a post by an LCS. Please pick up your pull list ASAP so that we can stay in business. I started to send them a message and be like, I'll buy some of the pulls, some of the stuff that's sitting in boxes, because, and you guys remember the video I did a couple of months ago. I think it was like pull list or parking lot. Because that's legit. A lot of people, and I'm not criticizing anybody, because again, it goes to this point about people aren't being forced to do it, but they want to do it because people want to read the content, the books that are coming out, the hot book that everyone's talking about. They want it, but people only have a certain amount of money. And so if the comic shop orders it, the person pulls it, and it just sits in the box, that is a bad situation for the comic shop. It's a bad situation for the customer because the customer probably can't afford the book that is sitting in the pull list, which is why it's still sitting there, and it's tough. It's a tough scenario, especially when quality of books is going down and the prices are going up. And again, that's why, I applaud the things that DC is doing by cutting back titles, by getting tighter. That's what you do. You get tight. I call it getting small so that you can move forward, you know? Buying 1,000 limited variants. All right. So let's keep this thing moving forward. I want to give you guys a heads up on some of the videos that are coming out this week. I think there's a couple of cool videos. I think I'm giving you guys an update on ASM, where I am with ASM. I need to wrap this thing up so that we can move on to other stuff. I'm getting closer. So I'm going to give you guys an update on ASM. I'm actually going to tell you which books I am missing between 1 through 261. So that'll be a good one. We are going to preview Trivia Night. I think we're going to do Trivia Night this coming weekend. I have a crazy weekend. I'm actually traveling out of the state for like one day, less than 24 hours. I'll be gone and then back, but that puts a wrinkle in a lot of my plans. But I think we're going to do Trivia Night this coming weekend. I'm thinking Saturday. That's where my head is right now. But in the preview video where I actually show you guys the books that are going to be available for Trivia Night, in the description, I will put the details of when Trivia Night will be. So you won't hear it now, but you will see it or be able to read it in that video that is coming out. I'm going to do an unboxing. A subscriber sent me some really cool original art, so I'm going to actually unbox that this week. And this one's going to be a controversial one. This video is going to be a controversial one, but I think that it's going to help a lot of people to understand my mindset with some things, specifically why I don't talk about. Kyler says maybe collect Spawn next. No, bro. Spawn is not next. No. I don't know what's going to be next. I have a couple of ideas, but I don't know yet. What is it? Another Trivia Night? Kyler says he won't win anything at Trivia Night, but bro, you will have fun playing. But yeah, Trivia Night's gonna go down again. I think it'll be Saturday, but we'll see. We'll see how this week unfolds. But what I'm going to talk about in this very controversial video that is going to be coming out this week that I think you guys will hopefully like. I'm going to share why I don't talk about price in my videos. And I've noodled this idea for a while, but I feel like I'm finally going to do it. And I'm going to do it because people occasionally ask me about price. Well, why don't you mention price? And can you tell us what you paid? I want to actually share my thoughts about that with you guys. And my idea here is that by recording it as a video, I will be able to fully express my hesitation with talking about price, but I can do it in such a way that I give you all the context. Because I think what happens is when people ask the question in the comments and then I try to respond back, I'm not able to fully express myself. In live chats, if people ask me, I can't fully express myself. So in this video, I'm going to lay it all out, in this vlog, actually lay it all out. That way, anytime someone has a question about price, I'm just going to say, check out this video because it will explain everything. So that's the reason why I'm doing it. And again, it's a little controversial, right? I mean, because some people are going to listen to it and be like, I don't care. You should still tell me how much you paid. Others will be like, okay, I get it. And it may resonate with some people. But again, sometimes you have to draw a little bit of a line in the sand to kind of explain things and then hope that people can at least appreciate where you're coming from. And so that's what this will be. And then depending upon how the week goes, I may do 1 to 2 live shows this week. A lot of people are always asking when I schedule these things. I schedule them based upon just like availability and also but inspiration. When I'm inspired to go live, I go live. And so I feel like if I have a scheduled program but nothing really to talk about, then it's not as fun to me. But when it's spontaneous, when I'm inspired, when I see something, when someone sends me a message and was like, hey, Reggie, check this out, then I kind of pop in, you know? So Ramos is saying sharing FMV and going rates, not necessarily the price you paid. Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing. Part of it is that, and this is the argument that I'll make. Videos on YouTube live forever, right? They live forever. So unless I'm telling you the exact day that I buy the book, the exact FMV on that day, the exact price on that day, give you all the context for my relationship with the seller. Because let's say that I get a book from my best friend. My best friend is not going to charge me FMV. So if I tell you the price, but you don't know that I bought it from my best friend, then how does knowing the price help you? You know what I'm saying? And then let's say you look at this video a year from now, the FMV a year from now on a book, who knows? It could be high, it could be low. That's part of the challenge. And I go into much more detail. But Ramos, I'm not picking on you, brother. I'm not picking on you at all. The video. Stay tuned for the video that's going to drop, because I'm going to fully explain the idea. You know, Chris Barrett, well said. Well said, Chris Barrett. He says, I'm not even going to read that. Yes, you are correct, sir. That is part of it. That is part of it. All right. So let's get to this thing. Let's get to this thing. This is possibly one of the biggest, one of the larger giveaways that we've done in terms of participation. So I'm actually going to show you guys. This is the book. This is the awesome book that is being given away this week, thanks to our relationship with GoCollect. Shout out to them. This is Thor 165 6.0. This is the first full appearance of him, also known as Adam Warlock, a super dope cover by Jack Kirby. I absolutely love this book. It does have some Newton rings. So if Newton rings bother anybody, if you win it and you don't want the book, just let me know. I'll go ahead and hold on to it for you. But the winner will get Thor 165, gorgeous book. And then they will also receive one of these exclusive variants from GoCollect. I think this is there's basically only 500 of these. This is issue number 1, Soulfire. Definitely a really cool book. So if you are indeed the winner of this book tonight, you send me an email to regiecollects@gmail.com. I bundle this thing up. I drop it in the mail for you tomorrow, and you have it in a couple of days because I'm shipping it out via priority mail. So again, huge shout out to GoCollect for putting us in a position to be able to constantly give away some really awesome books. So we're going to go ahead and pop this screen around so that you guys can actually see what I am looking at. We are going to first look at the list of names. So here are all of the individuals that entered this week's giveaway. A couple of really cool surprises in here. A couple of guys that I know watch a lot of my videos, comments on a lot of videos. I talk to them behind the scenes, but a couple of guys that decided to go ahead and jump in the fray this week. So yeah, I think that's really cool when people decide to participate in the giveaways because the book is awesome. So shout out to everybody that entered the giveaway. This list of names was actually posted up earlier this morning for people to be able to review to make sure that their names are actually here if they entered the contest correctly. The response this week was him. That was the response. If you entered something other than him or entered a blank or entered Thor 165, those were not the correct answer. And so unfortunately, your entry was not included here. So I just wanted to get full disclosure on that one. So we're going to go ahead and roll the dice and see what we get. So all right, so we have we've rolled the dice here and we have 11. So we're going to randomize our list 11 times and see where we go from here. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing going. If my internet would cooperate. Dragging. According to according to Comcast, I have blazing fast speed. But as you can see, this thing is lagging. So we're going to go ahead and randomize it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the winner of this week's GoCollect giveaway is none other than Zorro. That's crazy. So Zorro, shout out to him. Zorro was actually the guy that created those really cool mock-ups of covers featuring my likeness. So shout out to Zorro for actually winning this week's GoCollect giveaway. Zorro, I need you to send me an email to regiecollects@gmail.com so that I can award these awesome books to you, and I can actually get these sent out relatively quickly. But make sure you send me that email so I know exactly where to send it. So let me go ahead and show you guys while I have this thing already shared. I'm actually going to show you guys the FMV for this book really quickly, because I did that in the last preview show, but I had it pulled up here, so I wanted to go ahead and show you guys the GoCollect interface here. This book, this 6.0 Thor 165 has actually gone up 23.7%. There have been 11 sales as of late, and you can see that this book has quickly jumped. Wow, that is crazy. So back in May, the book was going for 243. In June the 2nd, it went for 250. And then as of 6/17, that is crazy, it went for $350. So that is the FMV. The current FMV of a Thor 165 is $350, which I think is just bananas. So they've actually changed my interface there really quickly. The location of the buttons that I used to actually share, they moved a couple of things around, so that threw me for a loop there. But as we come back to the live screen here, I want to show you guys again the book that is going to be sent out to Zorro. This is a really cool book that he is going to get, and I'm going to send this stuff out hopefully as soon as he sends me a mail-in address for where he wants it to go. So congrats to him. Let me scroll down here. Someone said, oh man, I missed it. Someone was like, never talk religion, politics, or how much you make. I think that's what the comment said. Oh my goodness. Someone gave me a thumbs down. I guess they did not win the contest and decided that they were out. Here you go. Thumbs down on you. So, but shout out to Fishing Freaks Comics for saying, hit the like button. I definitely appreciate that. And it was a really cool book, I think. I think it's a really cool book. So again, one that I actually don't have in the collection. So I am fingers crossed that I'll be able to find one of my own that I can hang on the wall. But if a 6.5 is actually going for $350, I don't know whether I'm going to be in that game. So all right, so I want to show you guys the book that is actually going to be given away this coming week, and I think that this one is actually a pretty cool book as well. It is a book that is getting a lot of attention right now. Wayne McDonald just dropping that super chat. Thank you, brother. I definitely appreciate you. So the book that is going to be given out this coming week is this one right here, Eternals #1. Eternals #1. This is the book that is going to be given out. This is the origin and the first appearance of the Eternals. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Yep, of the Eternals. There you go. So definitely a really cool book. So I'm actually going to pop this screen back around so that I can actually show you guys again what the FMV actually looks like for Eternals 165. Nope, Eternals 1. Sorry about that. So let me pop this screen back around so I can go back to GoCollect. So we're going to scroll up here to the top and type in Eternals #1 so that I can actually show you guys this book, and hopefully my internet will work here. All right, so Eternals #1 actually has an FMV right now at a 9.2, which is what this book is. You can see here it's actually gone down 1.4%. The Eternals #1 is actually selling right now for about $200. A couple of weeks ago, nope, a couple of days ago, it was 167. A few days before that, it was 200. A few days before that, 217. So this is definitely a solid, if you will, $200 book that is going to be given away this week. And again, here's how you win it. All you have to do is watch the videos that come out from the channel Monday through Friday. And in one of those videos, I will say, hey, if you're interested in winning this book, then do this thing. And that thing is to actually head over to the community tab. You click on the MailChimp link and you go to MailChimp. You plug in 3 pieces of information. One of those pieces of information actually comes from the video where I show you and talk about this book. So it's relatively straightforward. And if you are in doubt, there is a link in a couple of the more recent videos where I actually show you how to find the community tab. It's all relatively straightforward to be able to locate it and to be able to get into the running for these awesome giveaways that we do. And we do these giveaways every single week. Again, thanks to my relationship with GoCollect. They put us in a position to be able to do these things. So shout out to them. And I hope you guys will choose to participate. But as I mentioned, there's some really cool books that are coming out. Chris Barrett says, I just want the GoCollect variant. I'm actually running low on those. I don't know if I've been giving a lot of those out or depleted their inventory, but I think I only have like 4 or 5 left. So I actually need to reach out to them to see if I can get resupplied or whether we have indeed depleted the inventory, because I think we have been doing this almost 20 weeks. almost 20 weeks we've been doing the Go Collect giveaway. So yeah, it's a lot of books heading out there. So Theo says he is hyped for the Eternals movie, but honestly doesn't really know how they're going to top off the Avengers. Yeah. And he goes on to say, but I'm sure that they will find a way. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Nathan McCall says he has terrible luck. Terrible luck with contests. Fox says giveaways are a lot of fun. Thanks, Reggie. Thanks, Go Collect. You are very welcome, my friend. Dude, giveaways are tough. They really are. And it's just one of those things that it doesn't matter whether there's a ton of people or a couple of people. You just never know which way the randomizer is going to go, you know? So I would definitely encourage people to continue to participate because you never know what could happen. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit. Good luck this coming week. Be sure to check out all the cool videos that are coming out Monday through Friday of this week. I may actually double up and do maybe one day I'm going to drop 2 videos. We'll see. I have like a backlog of videos and I need to get some things out, but we're going to see what's going to happen. And then again, I may be going live a couple of times this week as well. But if you guys missed some of the videos that came up this last week, I definitely want to encourage you guys to go back and watch some of those videos. It's a couple of cool things I think that came out, some good content that if you missed it, if you haven't seen it, I definitely want to encourage you guys to take the time to do that. All right. Thank you for all of the birthday wishes. I definitely appreciate that. I want to thank you guys again for hanging out with me just a little bit. Thank you for the thumbs up on the video. Wayne McDonald, thank you for the super chat, brother. I definitely appreciate you. And I will talk to you guys soon. Certainly, if you need me, don't hesitate to reach out at Regie Collects on Instagram, reggiecollects@gmail.com. Take care.